All right, here we go again. I'm going to change this to, uh, I guess, ice. Hang on, what's going on? Okay. Right. Ice detainee release death. So, actually, it should be on Homeland Security. Hang on. Got the wrong slide up. Put the word there. Well, I'm going to let you know how it works. And again, there's only one person to blame for the mad rush to fix the immigrant issue. And that person is the Democratic Party in its entirety. And again, hey, I don't blame you. You made millions off of it. Actually, probably billions. It's how you fund your elections with taxpayer dole fraud. The only reason you got elected is scam. Can't believe you're stealing so much money from those programs. No wonder nobody gets their disability. And then they scream, "Oh, why are they getting disability? Because you stole the money." Right. There we go. All right. First off, it's the lawyer made the mess. The lawyer presented the false information to the family. There's a lot in there, and most likely, I know officers make mistakes, but they do not take a completely blind person and not notice. It would be like a Saturday Night Live skit. Well, from what I can see in the photo, what I think happened is his one eye is completely blind. Not sure of where the condition of the other eye is. Possibly that he's lost vision in that eye also. But he obviously is not completely blind because they didn't notice. There is no ICE officer that's going to take somebody that's bumping into the walls and just drop them somewhere. The lawyer's trying to get out of what he did wrong. If my memory serves me correctly, he told the family that the individual wouldn't be released till the next day. And remember, they're communicating with this person. Everybody in the ICE detention scenario is communicating and watching this person the whole time they're there. So they're not seeing a person that can't answer these questions. What I believe happened is the detainee believed that he was going to get out of detention and that's all he could think, which was wrong. Could the agents have done something better? Probably so. But again, it goes back to the lawyer. The family would have called. The family would have shown up that day instead of saying, oh, he's going to be released tomorrow. That 24-hour open period is what caused it. It's the lawyer. I don't know if they told you that. Lawyers do this kind of stuff all the time. Unfortunately, this time it ended in death. I do not believe that person is completely blind. I feel for him. I feel for his family. But I believe that person is somewhat functional or the agents wouldn't have left him there. Wouldn't even have got to the point. If I took somebody down in my car and he was bumping into the car and I'm supposed to just drop him off, I'm not doing it. I have professional insurance through federal. I had professional insurance through Federal Law Enforcement Officers Association, but I'm not risking that. So again, I've been around people that were partially blind and they appear functional. I actually tried to help somebody get some funding for from I guess Medicaid or something or from something through politicians because she had cataracts so bad. I don't know if they ever fixed that for her or not. She didn't have disability. She didn't have funding for the operation. It's like give her one or the other. You can get out of this disability issue with her if you give her the money for the operation. And it's only like was like really very small amount of money. Right. Oklahoma. Thank you. Now, to me, it looks like he can see out of the one eye, but I'm not a doctor, and I'm not, I am clairvoyant, but he says he's moved it forward and he didn't have to go to hell, so he's happy. At least that's what the thing represents clairvoyantly. So it was a lawyer issue. The government did not mess that up. I mean, yeah, it could have been better, but that's a standard procedure. And again, why is this happening? Hochul's party. And again, if you didn't steal all the money, be a better world for all of them. I'm convinced there's enough money in the programs. They just stole so much freaking money. And that's why they make it so big, so you can't audit it. And they make it unauditable the best that they can. Now, if you look at him as one eye, he's probably 100% blind in that one eye. I think it's a left eye, right? Because there's no agent in the world. It's like a Saturday Night Live skit. The guy bumping into the car while you're trying to put him in. There's no agent in the world that'll take that responsibility. Somebody in that, it was probably two people that dropped him off, I imagine, maybe not, but well, a new guy could maybe make that mistake. A new gal, I don't know. I mean, I've never seen it. Because I would take the guy back upstairs and say, "What the hell are you doing? He's bumping into my car. He can't see." Bumping into the walls. The only place I would release that person would be to the family or to the hospital. Right. Or the lawyer. The lawyer made a mistake. But that's who they have to sue. Now, we don't know if they had any finding, whether the lawyer told ICE that he was blind. I don't know what was on his record. But if he was in ICE custody and he wasn't having trouble moving around, eating, and that type of thing, blind is not necessarily blind. The situation where you would drop him off there, it doesn't make sense to me if he has an address. Now, I don't. That's another question: is where was his address? How did all that work out? But again, the lawyer is the one that made the. When you look at why, like if you investigate why this happened, the lawyer told the family it would be 24 hours before he would be released. That's the only reason it happened. Because the family would have called and said, "Where is he?" And again, if you actually would look at per capita deaths at ICE, it's not that high. It's not like there's some big risk. When you take the absolute population of ICE and compare it to the immigrant world as it is, maybe even the entire world, they keep people alive. That's the weird part of what you're actually saying. And it's, again, no good deed goes unpunished, because they're actually, some of these people would be dead if they didn't go into ICE custody. And I've heard that my whole life in corrections, which wasn't long. It was only a couple of years. Well, actually, no, because when you're in the marshal service, you hear the same stuff. If I wasn't arrested, something would have happened to me where I'd be dead right now. Right? And you get people, they got terrible teeth. They get arrested. They come back for resentencing or something like that, and they got great teeth. So again, this is really the world. The world's really not what the Democrats are trying to portray. Well, there are mistakes that are made, and that's obvious in any law enforcement entity of that magnitude of size. Now, this idea where this woman's flying a Pakistani flag at her house desk, I mean, no, it's not okay because that's their ethnicity. That's the wrong place to do it. You're replacing the U.S. flag. She's a congresswoman with a Pakistani flag. That may work for her constituents, but they all can denaturalize back to Pakistan then. Now, homicide doesn't mean, yeah, the lawyer killed him. But homicide doesn't mean, I don't even know if it's really a homicide. Right? I wouldn't say it's homicide. It's a scam. It's a Democratic Party guy, and they say it's homicide. Right? I don't even think that's homicide because it's not. Maybe they're trying to say it's negligent, but I'll tell you what, it's the lawyer, and it falls on the lawyer, and that's how it works. ICE did not give the family the wrong information. If the lawyer had not given the family information, they would have called ICE and said, "Where is it?" Now you're probably going to have a bunch of officers that already wrote statements that say this guy didn't look like he was blind. I don't know where the finding came from. Maybe that they weren't even aware that he was blind. He's obviously blind in one eye. But beyond that, from the photo, I can't tell. I'm just telling you, if he was really, really blind where he couldn't get around, I guarantee agents wouldn't have dropped him off. Now, if the person that rated his blindness name is Dr. Nadar Shah, there could be a question in there about immigration, immigrants defrauding the system. I mean, it's a horrible situation, but if you're gonna dredge ICE through the streets, we're gonna have to open up all possibilities. Right. It's just a fact of life. I would find that he's not blind. As far as being functional in any way, because they wouldn't do it. And again, I knew people that were blind, legally blind, but they weren't. They were still functional. It could have been better, but like I tell you, there's no way to do better when the lawyer gives false information to the family. So the bottom line is the false information didn't come from us, and that's what caused the family not to retrieve him. And again, could they be found legally culpable? Yeah, but it's not an open and shut. All right, stay peaceful. Praise God in all that you do. Praise God.